This is a Twingo. Twingo green to be exact. A member of the family that sometimes likes to get a little bit quirky. Ever since we've owned it, it had oil leaking out of the transmission. We obviously wanted to fix this right away, so we bought 2 driveshaft seals for the gearbox and replaced them. Well, replaced the passenger side one, because on the driver's side, the car uses some real wacky technology. Most cars use a CV joint on axles, which is a beautiful piece of engineering because it allows rotation to be transferred at an angle without any changes in the rotational speed. The Twingo uses these joints on the outside of both axles and the inside of the right axle. But for the inner left side, they cooked up something very special. It is basically half of a CV joint where these 3 wheels on needle bearings compensate for the angle of the driveshaft. Which is all well and good, but what about sealing? The transmission is filled with oil and we need to keep it in. Well, that's simple. Let's just put a rubber boot over and bolt it to the transmission. But wait, the axle rotates and the transmission doesn't. No problem. Let's put a bearing on the axle and attach the boot to that. Splendid idea. However, most bearings don't seal and usually require a radial shaft seal to keep the oil in. Oh, then we'll just use a special bearing that does seal. And now we're here. And this is not a one-time thing, because most of Renault cars from that era use this design. So, when we first pulled out the axle and saw what we're working with, we couldn't do anything about it. So we just put it back, put some oil in the transmission and called it a day. While we were planning our next Twingo day, we sourced the needed part and made a plan to try again. After we let the battery charge, me and Jeff started to remove the axle. We first wanted to remove the rubber boot and let out the excess transmission fluid. We didn't want to empty the whole transmission because axles are pretty high up, so we probably would need to catch that much oil, right?
Good soup. Easy peasy. Now. Holy moly!
Despite our little mishap, we managed to get the driveshaft out. Now the fun part was about to begin. We would have to start disassembling the axle and we would start with a simple little snap ring.
Holy moly!
After that got yeeted into the shadow realm, despite searching for it, we never found it. The next issue was getting this thingy with the rollers off. Since it was being held on by a snap ring and was on splines, we thought we could easily remove it with a puller. Even though we tried many different things, it still wouldn't budge. So the next logical conclusion would be to put it into a hydraulic press. But the next problem would be how would we support it and hold it in place. So Jeff decided to whip up a special tool.
Jeff, how does it feel to have all your fingers?
Excellent. Test fit attempt number 1. It fits.
Great.
We just bolt this together.
Oh, just enough. Watch all the needle bearings fucking fall apart. It's just splines. I don't know why is it so fucking hard to remove, because it's just splined.
We then used the tool to press it out. That just left us with having to press out the bearing.
She goes.
And that was
Surprisingly
excellent.
easy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that went surprisingly easy with Jeff's special tool. Now all we have to do was press on the new bearing. Well, sadly it's not going to be that simple.
This is the old bearing and this is the new bearing. And there is one critical flaw with the new one.
Yeah, so as we can see, the old bearing goes up on the shaft, and now it's a relatively tight fit, just like it needs to be. And then we have the new bearing. So we put it on the shaft, and would you look at that, it slides right on.
I don't know how this happened. When ordering the part, I gave them the VIN number and everything, and the internal diameter was supposed to be correct. But they probably gave us the bearing for a different car or something. Well, in any case, we were once again stuck. So we just reassembled the car without the drive shaft, we used the old boot to protect the insides of the transmission, and pushed it out to continue our work next time.
Alright. Oh, perfect fit. It peed itself.
Third time's the charm, they say. We got another set of a rubber boot and a bearing, and this one, even though it looked a little bit different, had the correct inner diameter. So we could try pressing it on. It worked out well, though the axle sometimes wanted to slip out of our DIY clamp. We just turned it around and tightened it some more. The same process was done with the roller thingy.
Because it's made to slip on easier. It's like this.
I need to make sure that it doesn't fly away spontaneously.
And the final thing to do was just to put it in the car. To get access again, we had to remove the old rubber boot and unbolt the knuckle.
Yeah, baby!
When everything was finally reassembled, we had to put the oil back into the transmission.
Oh, there's some sediments in here.
We pumping!
Now we just had to see if it finally seals.
It's the next day. And there is almost no drippage here. Me and Adam have made an educated decision that we're gonna leave it as is. And we're gonna go for a drive and see if it drips.
Or explodes. Or whatever.
No, it's not gonna explode. It has all the soup. We put all the soup. Jeff didn't want to put this sediment in. He was like...
So we just decided to have a chill day and wash both Twingos and then go for a drive in the evening to see if there would be any leakage. After we came back, we noticed that it looked like there was a leak at the rubber boot, as when me and Jeff installed it, we had to squeeze it through this ring that holds it in place. And this boot actually has some metal in the rim. We're thinking that we maybe bent that metal inside a bit too much and now it won't sit right. For now, we decided to thoroughly wipe off all the oil and watch the situation. If it really is leaking, we'll just try installing the other rubber boot that we still have. That being said, the car has been sitting for a while now and it doesn't look like even a single drop fell out of the transmission. This is going to be all for today. There are still problems on both cars that need to be fixed, plus some mods that we're planning on doing. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the Twingo tomfoolery, you can leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos come out. Although, if you don't want to, that is also fine. Also, if you'd like to get yourself some classic Wonderful World stickers and support the channel, there is a link down in the description. Thanks again for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.